physicians of no value. Meaning, they're doctors of no value. They can't help you, and they won't help you. Because if they had the ability to help you, they would also be killed. There's a lot of doctors that have found out certain things that can cure cancer, and guess what happened to them? They were killed. Because the powers that be, or the people that run these medical industries, they're in league with them guys in them secret, houses and stuff, behind closed doors. And they're discussing on how they can maintain the people, how to keep the people astray. From going astray. So they're making all of these discussions and all of these different media programs. They're sleeping in the same bed together.
Bug that, people. Look, bug that.
And that's all because of the medicine. This is why people are so bugged out their mind. Like I said, you got the people that control the media. You got the people that control the medical industry. You got people that control the doctors industry. Okay, all manner of major industries that the people need to go to get help.
Right.
They're all sleeping in the same bed together. And the intention here is to keep the people in a damnable state. To keep the people sick in the head, sick in the mind. And that's how you're able to easily have control of the people. Alright? So even, let's just say people want to revolt. They can easily just shut the people down. It's just very simple, but it doesn't have an effect on us. Because we're the men of the Lord. Potentially the men of the Lord. And we got this work to be doing. Alright, go on, brother.
This is Hosea 4:6, and it says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. See, thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children."
I will also forget thy children, because even in 2/3 of our own people, they have a lot of mental issues as well. You got a lot of jakes out there that are suffering out. And the reason as to why, because not Satan, but the Most High has let loose those demons on our people. And that's why they so messed up, just like everybody else out here. But because we returned back to the house of the Lord, the presence of the Lord, let me say that.
Right.
We're all right now. We all right. We good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're able to think more clearer. We're able to build on ourselves. Because I'm into the herbs, man, like this brother is. And I feel the effects. I feel more alive.
Right.
I feel more invigorated, more so than I was when I was 20.
Right.
Here it is, I'm approaching 30, right? But I feel more younger now than I was when I was 20.
That's great, bro.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm taking care of myself. And it's all because of the wisdom and understanding of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
You understand? But when you don't have the wisdom and understanding, that's when all hell comes around. All fails.
Yeah.
And this is what's gonna pretty much befall this society. This is why Esau is failing, and more so, because he's not corresponding with the way of righteousness. Alright? And everybody else is failing out here. More so. Go on, brother.
That was the one, that one.
Alright, yes, so get me I wanna go and change the topic now. Give me Isaiah 61 now. Whoever can get it, don't matter.
Get it for a second. Whose pen is this?
Yes,
That's it, this brother. Can I bring this precept out?
Yeah, go on, bro.
Just to end off, you say you changed the subject. This one is James chapter 1 verse 5. It says, one of my favorite ones. I remember this from the church. But even still, I just kept reading it because I knew I was lacking in it. James 1 and 5, it says, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him keep on asking God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him."
Right, so you gotta go before the men of the Lord, man. Because the way you get taught this wisdom is you have to go before us, like we went before the apostles. Okay, that's how you get it, and then once you maintain that same wisdom and understanding, and you grow on that same level. Okay, you grow with that same wisdom and understanding. Right, and I want to just say one more thing as well, and this is why you have a big thing out there, such as fluoride. And fluoride is pretty much a chemical which keeps you sedated, breaks you down.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can find it in your toothpaste. You can find it even in the waters in America. The drinking water in America is full of fluoride. And that all goes back because they want to easily manage the people. Because think about it, everybody was into the herbs and got into the medicines of the herb, which are the herbs, he would be more strong and more wholesome and more so to take on the government. Because when you take the herbs and you get into all of the herbs and stuff like that, and you take the right vitamins and your minerals, like I said, you feel like you can take on the world. So when you have that sense of feeling, guess what? Your mind is going to be right there, and you're going to be thinking, okay, we need to go take down the powers that be. But when you're sick and your mind is sedated, you don't feel like doing anything. You feel lazy. You feel like life is just unworthy of living. So that's just one way. That's one aspect of it, man. But I want to dive into something else, though. In Isaiah 61, bro.
From the top.
Yeah, from the top.
The book of Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord, power is upon me,
Right.
because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings.
Read it one more time.
Verse from the top.
Yep.
The Spirit of the Lord, power is upon me,
Right, it says the Spirit of the Lord, power is upon me. Go on.
because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good
And
tidings.
that's why we out here doing this work. The reason why we out here doing this work is because the Spirit of the Lord is upon us. And we don't find it very difficult to come out here. It's like it's become a natural. Like on a Saturday, right? I didn't have to willfully think, oh, I gotta go out and do the work. It's just natural. Because the Lord set it up to where we're able to come out here easily and do what we're doing right now so that the work can be done. And if you check it out, those pastors, they may have a certain spirit on them to do what they're doing, but what kind of spirit is that? It's the spirit of Satan on them. Okay, we have the spirit to bring this truth out as it's going to tell you. Go on.
To preach good tidings unto the meek.
Right, to preach good tidings unto the meek. Who is the meek? The meek is the nation of Israel, those that are the Lord. Matter of fact, brother, dealing with the meek, give me Matthew the 5th chapter, Matthew 5 and start from verse 5. Because the Lord is starting to build on those that are abased right now. And those that are abased right now is the nation of Israel, to exalt them to a state of glory. Alright? This chosen people. There you go, yeah.
This is Matthew 5 and 5, and it says, Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Right. It says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And that's exactly what we're building onto. We're gradually getting to that point where we will see glory. It's on its way. All you gotta do is look at the state of this world and look at our state. We were once bugged out our mind. We were once in that what is it, man? We were once in that trance of being niggas. Docile.
Yeah.
That was our trance. Now we're in a different trance, and we're in the trance of righteousness. Okay, and we're being lifted up. We're standing up, okay, with the word of the Lord, and we're preaching that which we were supposed to preach from the beginning. Okay, and then it's going to get down to this point where this kingdom that we're preaching about is going to manifest itself. All right, on this earth. And then people would have to look at this in a different light. Ultimately, they will, right? And they're gonna know and see that the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with the whole nation of Israel. But it's all beginning with the elect first. All right. So yeah, give me
Isaiah 61.
right.
All right. Isaiah chapter 61, verse from verse 1.
You read a bit louder.
All right. The Spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings
Right.
unto the meek.
Right.
He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted.
Right. He have set me up to bind up the brokenhearted. Who's the brokenhearted? The children of Israel, those that are under the curses, those that are vexed every single day because of the lower estate that they're living in the state of hell. So we're here to bind up the brokenhearted of the nation of Israel. Now is Esau the meek and the brokenhearted? No. We just went into not too long ago on how good they're living. They're living very well. Okay, they got a good name to them. All right, their presentation is pretty good. But when you're dealing with us, we have the contrary presentation. We have an ill name because the accused of our brethren is against us. Okay? And making us look crazy. Now look, kind of camera on that, man. Tight clothing and jeans and weird haircuts and stuff. That's a bad presentation. It's the way the Israelite women are supposed to look. It's to be covered all the way up.
This is modest apparel.
Right, modest apparel. That's not modest, man. See, there's go another one, brother. Pan the camera on that one. Yeah. That's not modest apparel.
Oh yeah.
That's a strange creature. So Esau is pretty much morphed our people into strange creatures, man. But the way of the Lord is going to transform our people into the right setting. They're going to have the right state of mind, and they're going to do that which is of the Lord. Okay, go on, brother. Yep.
And it says,
come forth. Yep.
All right. To proclaim liberty to the captives at the opening of the prison.
Right, to proclaim liberty to the captives. Again, who is in captivity? Is Esau, is Moab, is Ammon, is Ham, and all of these different nations are in captivity? No. The main people that are in captivity, that are at the bottom, okay, of the economic class sect, is these people. They fit the lower class sect, and they have to be in a state where they have to work paycheck to paycheck so they can eat. So if you're in that predicament and you know you have to go to work every other day, then you're in slavery, man. You're in captivity. Because technically, we as a nation shouldn't be working. We should be administering the laws of God. We should be the priests. Okay, a priest or a king or those that are in royal setting, they shouldn't have to work. All right? So what the Lord is going to do, the Lord is going to proclaim the truth on how we are the chosen people of God. And the way that he will do that is by sending his son down here to set the record straight. Okay, that's how you know it's definitive that there would have to be a second coming of the Lord. Because if the Bible is saying this and that about us and how we're the chosen, and it don't look like it, then that means the Lord will be lying, which he's not a liar. All right, and how these heathen rule over us. Okay, that's going to be done away with. They're going to be under our foot, and they're going to be doing what we tell them to do. And that's the way the Lord is going to rock it out. Go on, brother. You keep going.
And it says, at the opening of the prison to them that are bound,
right,
to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord.
Because how are you liberated out of this world? Spiritually by this word. The scriptures talks about how this truth shall make you free. In other words, you're free from all of this nonsense and the philosophies of this world. Okay? You now understand what the truth is all about. Because Esau would, when he would teach you certain things from these school systems or on TV, he will teach you lies, but then he will give you bits and pieces of truth. But because we have the complete, unfiltered, potent truth, now we're able to see everything from a different light now. Now we're able to look at ourselves in a different light. Because Esau taught us that because of our background and our racial situation, we can't amount to anything. But the Bible tells us that we're the children of God. And now we more so know why they've kept on oppressing our people for years. Because how is that we always knew from day dot who we were. And what they always knew is that we were the Jews, we were the Israelites. Go on, brother.
Can I just say something? One thing I observed about this world, the Esau system, is he bases his perception of you on what you've done before, like for example, what grades you got at school, or what grades you got in university, or what jobs you've worked. Whereas Yahweh, he looks at your future. Right. And before you even know who you are, he knows who you're going to be. And he chooses you based on your potential. Esau's way and Most High's way.
Yep. It's like Isaiah. I think it was Isaiah. The Most High said to Isaiah, I knew thee from the womb.
That's it, brother. That's Jeremiah.
Oh, Jeremiah. Yeah, that was Jeremiah.
And David as well.
Yeah. Right.
And Joel didn't believe in himself, but the Most High made him, eventually, he made him believe in himself. Because he knew what his potential was.
Yeah.
Even Yahweh showed when he said, come with me and I'll make you fishers of men.
Right.
Called Peter and the others. He looked at their potential.
Exactly. He saw right through him.
I said I meant Jonah. I didn't mean Joel, but even could be Joel too. But Jonah, because Jonah was asked to do an assignment. He ran away to Tarshish. The opposite, he didn't believe in himself, and he was looking at things carnally. But the Most High had to say, "No, this is what is for you. You're gonna do it. You can do it." He built him up. Built up his He empowered him.
Exactly. So that's what this world is all about. This world, like I said, it's only benefiting the 1%. Okay, you read that, and then I'll get to what I'm going to get into.
Ephesians 1 and 4, and it says, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world,
Right.
that we should be holy and without blame before him in love.
Exactly. So there's certain spirits and there's certain men that were chosen from the beginning.
Predestined, brother.
And that's the elect. That would be the elect. Okay? But going back to what I was saying, like I said, this society is all based on, what is it, man? What credentials you got and all of this other stuff. All right? But mainly, I'll even go further than that. I'll even go as far as saying this is that, because my mother, right, she was hanging around with this one dude. And he was one of those, you know, those men that pretty much the aristocracy, right? So she had found this book, and it's a blue book, and it's got all of these names written in it. And it concerns these people that have pretty much, you know, supposedly set up this society, ancestors that have had slaves and all of that, right? So that's what this society benefits at the end of the day. Okay, if you're not heirs to the throne, you don't matter. You're just a slave. You're a peon or a peasant. Okay, and that's how all kingdoms were. All empires were like that. You've always had the aristocracy, and you had the rich, and you had the middle class, and all the way down. But where we fit in this society, what Esau wants us to be is to just be a bunch of slaves. And this is why the society is so constructed that we're not capable of getting our own banks, our own media, our own everything, so that we don't have to fall back on another nation.
That's right, yeah.
All right, Esau wants everybody to fall back.
Self-sufficient.
Right, self-sufficiency, yeah. Okay, but we ain't gotta worry about that, because guess what? The Bible tells us, because we're the children of the Lord, we gonna get all of these nations, all right, and they gonna submit to us. Ultimately, go on, brother.
It's Deuteronomy 28 and 48, and it says, Therefore shalt thou save thine enemy, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Read that one more time.
He said, therefore shalt thou save thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
You're not going to serve your best buddies or your best mates. You're going to serve your enemies.
In hunger and in thirst.
Right, in hunger and in thirst.
And in nakedness and in want of all things.
And in the want of all things. So anything you want to get, whether it's a loan or whatever, right, you got to go before them. And they got to give you the oh yes. And if they give you the no, then you're not going to get it. Even if it's just a little jump, you got to go to them. But that's how it's going to be in our society, in our kingdom. When we put all of these nations in slavery, which they're supposed to be, they're going to have to go to report back to us, the big boys. Okay? And that's how it's going to be. But first and foremost, the way it's going to be set up, I'm not going to lie, we're going to whoop some ass. That's going to be the first part of it. Because that's a part of humbling your servants. If you don't beat their ass, then they won't be humble. So you have to do that, just like what they did to us. Okay, I'm going, bro. And that's how all societies came up. All, you know, certain nations got their ass whooped and they became servants. Go on, bro. Do what you got.
And it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And that's what happened. When you actually go on, the Google, just put yoke of iron. And what are you going to see? You're going to see an Israelite man with a yoke of iron on his neck. An image that goes very back, 1800s. That's what you're going to see. So we're definitely fitting to the curses of Deuteronomy 28 as the Jews, as the Israelites.
Chapter 61 verse 1, the Spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
Right, to them that are bound. And that's our people. We're what you call the meek and also the brokenhearted. That's what we are. So we're there to proclaim liberty. In other words, this is truth, because this word, this information is what's going to liberate our people. But I'll say there's only the elect, because you only have the, 144,000, and then you also have the other multitude of those that will believe, so to speak. But it only takes a remnant of our people to get it, and then ultimately the whole nation will receive the blessing. Okay? But and more in a different way though. Go on, bro.
So Matthew 10 and 5, and it says, and these 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not in the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
And that's another reason as to why we come out here and do it the way we do it, because what we're doing is because you would think, well, we got Bibles in our hands and stuff, so how come you're not teaching that everybody can be saved or receive some kind of liberation? This is not for everybody. This is only for y'all, okay, all of us, because we're the children of Israel. We're the same people that the Lord made establish a covenant with.
When you say us, do you mean black people?
Or not just so-called black people, but also the Latino and Native so-called Native American Indians as well. They're also Hebrews as well, Israelites. But this is all about the people that that has access to the covenant. If you're not a race of the covenant, you ain't getting into the kingdom. Nope. I mean, they'll be in the kingdom, but they're just going to be slaves. Okay. If you want slaves, you may not want them, or you may want them.
You're not one of them, man.
You get used to it.
If you want to get your nose done and you want to get your hair done or whatever, hey, they'll do that for you. Same thing with this brother. This brother want a nice garment. The nation will make the nice garment for him. Do whatever he wants from them, so to speak, and they can't say anything about it. Because we're gonna have complete power over it. Go on, brother.
Isaiah 14 and 2, and it says, And the people shall take them and bring them into their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
Whose captives they were. And that includes not just the so-called white man, but also the so-called Arabs, the so-called East Indians, those indigenous, dark-skinned people in Africa. And what else, brothers? What else nation we got out there? Right, you got the Moabites, right? Named them already. And then you got the so-called Japanese, the Ammonites. So we're going to have an amalgamation of slaves. Now it seems unrealistic because of our lower state right now, but that's going to happen. Matter of fact, brother, give me Isaiah 60. The book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. So that's really what's going to befall the end. When it's all said and done, this is what it's all going to be down to, so to speak. Even if we have to wait another 10 years or another 20 years, which I don't even see that coming. I see like a year or 2 years.
Wow,
maybe
beautiful.
6 months.
Beautiful, brother.
Because this society ain't got too long, man.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The book of Isaiah chapter 60 and 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
And that's what's happening right now, because we have the light, okay, to shed forth before all of the people and to let them know where they fallen. Because not only we out here to just teach, our people, but we're also to teach the other nations too. But it's not good news. It's more or less the bad news, because they're not a part of the gospel. We're there to let them know that, look, this is where you fall in. All right? Anyway, go on, brother.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people.
So then we show them, okay, according to your nationality, you're of the tribe of Moab or Ammon. If you're a so-called Chinese person, you're a Moab. So-called Japanese, Ammon. If you're a so-called white man, you're a Edomite. Okay? And this is going to be the judgment that's going to befall, like right now. We're going to show them where they're falling right now. Give me Revelations 13 and 9 and 10. See, they have to get the step. Okay? They had to get the book. And that's what we do on a weekly basis. Go on, brother. Yeah, keep
Then when else is
And
4
it
days.
says, But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
And kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. Or they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy son shall come from far.
Right, it says thy son shall come from afar. The sons of all of the other heathen. Why are their sons going to be brought to us? Because they're going to be brought to us to do work, building altars, building cities, paving the streets with gold, pursuant to Revelations, the 21st chapter. All right, all of these things they have to do a lot of work, because we're not going to lift a finger. We've already did our work building this crappy society.
Right.
We've already did the work.
Unpaid.
I mean, sister.
What's the heart of your message?
Also a part of our message is
The
also
The
the law.
heart. The heart. Yeah, yeah.
Just pretty much everything.
In a nutshell.
We are the
The
Israelites.
main message
The
was
people of the Bible, the people that you read about from the time of Moses, from the time of Jesus, the apostles, Revelation, that is these people on the board here.
Right.
That's our people. The ones that went into slavery, the Native Americans, the Latino tribes, those make up all the 12 tribes of Israel. So this is the time now when the Lord now is gathering all his people back. Okay? Because for a while, first of all, we sinned against the Lord, and this is why those things came upon us. Slavery, oppression to this very day. It's because of all the sins because the Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. We did not keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. This is why we went through the things that we went through. The suffering to this very day. That was a part of the curses. Deuteronomy 15, that was a part of the curses as a people, as a nation that was supposed to go through as punishment for the sins that we committed.
So is that what you're basically informing people of?
Yeah, and then now this is the time now we're done now. This is at the end of our punishment. So now we're coming back now to the Heavenly Father. We're coming back now to the understanding of the Bible. Well, this Bible, that's our records, our history, our laws, statutes, and commandments, prophecies, and now the Lord is now gathering back his people back, because we are the ones now we're gonna be sent back now where we belong now, in the land of Israel. End to do. So now so before the end comes, we're gonna get restored back as a people, and then now the judgments are gonna come. World War III is part of the judgments and prophecies that are in the Bible. Okay.
All of that based from the Bible?
That's
or
not from the Bible.
Have you used other texts?
Off the Bible.
Okay. Because you mentioned as well that you spoke to some elders and
Yeah. They all taught us what we're teaching.
The same way you're asking questions, that's how we started as well. We walked to a camp on YouTube, because we record and put it up on YouTube, and that's how we learned. And now we're teaching others. So we learn to teach others that are going to teach others also.
Exactly.
so for people who aren't from these places basically have no hope.
They have no hope. But I'll say this as well, because you do have our people, and I have to be fair, you do have our people that look like the other nations, that are not on the side here. But if their forefathers on their father's side go back to these people on the side, then they can have a chance of making it. But if they're like a purebred heathen now, and they don't fit on here, they're gonna go into slavery. And the reason that's why, because when you actually go into the history of Israel, we were all enslaved at one particular point in time under all of those nations. So what the Lord is going to do, the Lord is going to establish us to be above all of them. Okay? Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so let's go back to Isaiah 61. All right, take care.
All right. This is the book of.
I was going to say she's interested, but he's not. But in Corinthians, it speaks about women that believe, but their husband does not believe. But she's able, like the women that believe, if she's sincere, through her belief, her husband can be saved also. IUIC, what they tell you is, if your partner does not believe, then they separate or leave him. Then they give you another man in the truth, man. That's adultery, man. You can't do that, man. Right. You know?
Right. Exactly. So
yeah,
she's all right, though, man. She's all right, you know? Go on. Finish what you're saying.
I was going to say, the men that believe, the women, their wife, or their household is able to be saved through that man. And the women that believe, because women they generally believe, but their husband is really iffy about it,
all over the place.
You know, but you know she can't be wicked and cast her husband to the side, you know, because that would be wicked for her to do, man. Yeah. So it's the Lord can deliver her and her husband together, man. Yeah. So that great multitude, man, there's many ways in which the Lord is gonna deliver that great multitude and bring them together.
So back in Isaiah chapter 61, verse 2, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our power.
That's what we do every single week. We proclaim the day of the Lord. We always talk about it. The chariots, all of it, everything that makes reference to this, we talk about it. We do sit downs on it. We talk about the end of Esau. So we're proclaiming every single on a weekly basis the day of the Lord. All right, anything that involves that, concerning also the downfall of Esau involves that too. Okay, so when we talk about Esau's going to go down because of this or because of that, that's all a part of the day of the Lord. And we give proclamation to that. All right, go on, bro.
To comfort all that mourn.
To comfort all that mourn. Who's all of them that are mourning right now? All these tribes out here. So when you watch this video and your brother that's mourning, you trying to figure out what the hell is going on with the world, well, it's all going to be in the scriptures. And what's going on with your own people is here in the scriptures. Okay? And these are the scriptures that are supposed to comfort you. Go on.
To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion.
Right, to appoint unto them that mourn. Tell us right there, in Zion. So this book, this Bible, is not for everybody. No matter how much these strange, deranged Edomites talk about how, oh, Jesus Christ, he's white. As much as they say that all they want, listen, man, it doesn't change anything. And they would say that because they know that that the narrative that they once had before is losing power, and it's pretty much dated now. People are looking over that narrative and they're realizing that we have the true narrative. All right? So no matter what hasty, deranged Edomite got to say, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, go on.
To give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness.
Right, the garment of praise. We're going to be praised. That goes into us being blessed. Because you're going to have the nations, what's going to happen to them? When they see an Israelite, they see that soul glow on his face, right? They're going to bow before him. That's what these nations are going to do. They're going to bow before you. All right? So as it stands right now, I mean, like, this is just temporal, man, like what Paul said. This ain't really the real deal. The real deal is going to come afterwards. There's a reason why Esau was able to get up in that power seat. It's just so he could fulfill prophecy and show us what evil and wickedness is all about. That's the reason why Isaiah was in the power seat and was able to come down and, as the Renaissance period, as the Renaissance people them, and try to do, deface the images. Okay? But everything's going to be switched around now for all of a sudden. Go on.
That they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord.
Right, that they might be called trees of righteousness and the planting of the Lord. So we're going to be planted by the Lord. The Lord is going to give us the law, statutes, commandments in our inward parts. That's how we're going to be made righteous. We're going to be planted righteous. And we're going to be known as the tree of righteousness. Okay, go on, brother.
That he might be glorified, and they shall build the old wastes.
Right, that they may be glorified and that they might rebuild the old wastes. Because when them so-called Jews get it in that ruler war, those cities are going to be totally wasted. And then we would have to come back out of the chariots. Right?